Hey, it's Brooklyn Lou the Skeptic, former evangelical, now turned atheist. And sometimes I think about what it was like being an evangelical and compare it to what it's like living in the real world. And they are two distinctly different things. Okay, so when I was an evangelical, I used to think this Bible, the Holy Bible, why is it holy? Because it says so. Right there, it's holy. Now, right, I used to think this was the word of God. As good as a crystal ball, right? It gives you all that a human being needs to go through life. There's nothing else needed. You just need a book and your life can be complete. What insanity. Now, let's look at some truth. Okay, we know that the Bible was written by men. And it was written during the Bronze and Iron Age. It was written by different men over a 1,500-year period of time. So let that sink in deep. No God wrote a book. Sorry, would be nice, but no God wrote a book. Now, men wrote many books over a long period of time. So what do we know now as the Bible? Well, it was a book that was compiled from many books. No God involved, all men. Men decided what went in this particular compilation, and men decided what didn't go in to this particular compilation. Now, within this holy book, there is so many preposterous, ignorant, and dumbass things in this book that anybody in a modern era in 2025 that wants to live their life based on this book is just deluding themselves, and they are denying reality. So I wanted to look at just a couple of things in this book, this word of God. Okay. Now, we all probably are aware of Psalm 137, verse 9. And I'm going to read it, and then we're going to put the accurate context on it. And we're going to see just how disgusting this type of writing is in a modern era. Okay, Psalm 137:9 says, "Happy shall be the one who takes your little ones and smashes them against the rock." What a disgusting, horrible Bible verse. Just inhumane. Smashing little children against rocks until they are destroyed. Now, what in the world could make this make any sense? And why would a God put this in a perfect book? Well, again, we know it's written by men. So the context is the Babylonians defeated Israel in war. And here the psalmist says that when Israel gets revenge and smashes and destroys Babylonian children, the Israelites should be happy. They should be joyful. Really? The idea that the God sometimes wants human beings to do genocide is just sickening, like really sick, right? That we would ever be happy if we were able to get revenge on another culture by destroying their children, by smashing their little children against a rock, and that this would make us happy. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Come on now. We know this is barbaric. We know this would be war crimes. We know this is immoral. And yet the Bible indicates that it would be okay to be happy with that, to celebrate that. Right? Thank goodness this book is mythology. Now, also in this holy book, we have Ezekiel chapter 4, verses 9 to 15. Now, the prophet Ezekiel, in a prophetic representation of a siege of Jerusalem, the dumbass God tells Ezekiel to bake bread over burning human dung. Yes, burning human feces. And he tells Ezekiel to do this in front of the people. Yes, in front of the people. Okay, let that sink in. Contemplate how gross that is. Right? How humiliating. How disgusting. Now, Ezekiel pleads with the God, and he tells him, please don't make me do this. And in this case, the God relents. So the God tells Ezekiel, okay, you don't have to use the human feces. You can burn and bake the bread over cow dung. How nice of the God. Now, notice how God just loves humiliating human beings, putting them down, making them feel disgusting. What a horrible thing for any being to tell someone to do. To bake bread over human dung. And then relent and say, oh, okay, you can bake it over cow dung. All right, this book, yes, this book, hello, the Holy Bible, that one, it is filled with mythology. It is not real. Thank goodness that we know it was written by men. Men in the Bronze Age, in the Iron Age. Men who were essentially goat herders. That's who this book was actually written by. And you can tell when you pick up this book and read it for yourself without being overloaded with Christian commentary, which makes it seem a little better than it is. This book is horrendous and should play no role in your life other than possibly being a book you may read to understand what ancient people were thinking and what mythology they were under. That's the only purpose. This is not the word of a God. This is a sick word of people from a completely different era. So, please don't take the Bible as absolute truth. You're going to become an idiot if you do, because you may be smart, but once you sell out and you make a vow to uphold the words in this book, you're going to do immoral things, and you're going to do it thinking they are moral, when in fact, much of what this book teaches is just sick.